Today marks the 20th anniversary since Paper Mario's initial release date in Japan on the N64. This game means so much to me. I don't think words alone could properly express how much this game means to me. How could I properly put into words how I felt when I first played this game as a 6-year-old? It sounds impossible, but I feel like it's worth giving it a try. This is a loving look back at Paper Mario and why I love it so much. My first exposure to Paper Mario was when my cousin showed me the game. I was immediately drawn in by the bright, vivid, and colorful pop-up book art style. That art style really caught the attention of 6-year-old me. I was also very interested in the gameplay since I had never seen or played an RPG up to that point. My cousin didn't let me play the game, but it was the very next game I asked my parents for. I knew that I had to play this game for myself. Even then, I knew I needed this game, and nothing was going to stop me from getting it. Except my parents, who said no to my request at the time. Months later, my Nintendo 64 broke. To be honest, I can't remember the exact details of how it happened. I know we kept my N64 on the floor at the time, so maybe that had something to do with it. My mom decided to get me a PlayStation to make up for it, so we walked into Blockbuster, looked at different PS1 games, and picked up the PlayStation. As we were about to check out, I saw something amazing at the front of the store. A Pikachu N64 and Paper Mario right next to it. I asked my mom if I could get it. She told me I had to choose between that and the PlayStation. And without skipping a beat, I told her I wanted Paper Mario more than anything. I think at that point, my mom realized how important it was for me to play this game in particular. We got the Pikachu 64 along with my original copy of Paper Mario, which I still have to this day. Upon booting up the game, I was greeted with an introduction to the game's main conflict. Bowser had stolen the Star Rod from Star Haven, and trapped the 7 Star Spirits in cards. I love how they make this introduction look like a stage play. When I started the game, I was intrigued by all the different NPCs you could interact with in Peach's castle. There's even a toad that lets you in her room if you bug him enough. After meeting up with Peach, Bowser takes her castle up into space. It happened here before Mario Galaxy! Ha! And with the power of the Star Rod, he beats you. I couldn't believe it. Bowser beat Mario! This was when I realized that this was going to be an adventure unlike any I had experienced before. Mario, on the brink of death, is healed by the Star Spirits and told to go to Shooting Star Summit. But then Kammy Koopa, Bowser's right-hand minion, puts a giant block in your way. After getting the hammer and breaking the block, we can make our way to Toad Town and to Shooting Star Summit. And I want you to imagine being a 6-year-old whose only experience with video games up to that point had been Mario sports games and 3D platformers. I had never seen anything very awe-inspiring in a video game before. So you can imagine how I felt when I first entered Shooting Star Summit, and this is what I see. This was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. Beautiful scenery, shooting stars coming down, and a transcendent piece of music. This moment was so beautiful. I didn't know that video games were capable of evoking this much emotion. It was peaceful, yet awe-inspiring. The story in this game might not be as complex as in the sequels, but it makes up for that with the writing that's charming and funny, with lots of colorful, entertaining characters that make the Mario universe feel so rich and alive. One of my favorite reoccurring enemies in the game is Junior Troopa. He shows up at the beginning of the game and keeps encountering you in hilarious ways throughout the adventure. My favorite of which include him swimming all the way from Toad Town to Lava Lava Island just as Mario and company are leaving. So he swims all the way back to Toad Town, losing half his HP, just to get a chance at taking Mario down. In the final chapter, you're teased with an intense rematch with the Koopa Brothers, the boss from Chapter 1, but Junior Troopa comes in, knocks them all out, and fights you instead. My favorite moment in the game is when Mario is accused of murder. Seriously, it comes out of nowhere, and it's hilarious in a dark kind of way. It's fine though, he's alive, he just hit his head. Of course, I can't talk about why I love Paper Mario without bringing up its gameplay. This was my first RPG, and I think it was a perfect introduction to the genre. Unlike most RPGs, this game uses small numbers. In fact, stats never reach any higher than double digits. This makes it a really great introduction to the genre for young kids. There's also an action command system, which allows you to do timed button presses during battle, which can let you do more damage to enemies, and block attacks so you receive less damage. This is a great way of implementing action elements into a turn-based system. Your heart points and flower points can be replenished through sleeping or hitting one of the many HP blocks. Flower points are used for special attacks in battle, which you can obtain by equipping badges. You need a certain amount of badge points to equip them though, so make sure you level up your badge points if you want to use a lot of badges. To level up in this game, you need to get 100 star points. You receive star points at the end of battle, provided you aren't too overpowered for the enemy you're fighting. When you level up, you can choose between heart points, flower points, and badge points. This means that the game gives you an extra form of strategy in the level up system. You can choose if you want to play more offensively and just equip and use as many badges as possible, or if you want to play more defensively and focus more on your HP stat. It's all up to you. Party members can level up through these blocks with blue orbs in them. It gives them new abilities and makes them do more damage. At the end of every chapter, Mario saves a Star Spirit. With every Star Spirit, you get a new star ability. Each one requires a certain amount of star points to use. My favorite of which is Starstorm, which sends a bunch of stars flying down and deals 7 damage to all enemies. Party members are also very helpful outside of battle too. A good example is Bo the Boo, who can make you invisible so enemies can't see you, or so you can pass through certain obstacles. You also play as Peach at the end of each chapter to try and find out more information that her partner, Twink, relays to you. Peach's gameplay is more stealth-based, sneaking around the castle, trying not to get caught by Bowser's minions. My favorite Princess Peach section in the game is when you use her parasol to transform into Bowser's minions. It's pretty cool that, even if for a brief moment, you're able to take control of Mario's enemies. Even though this game is often overshadowed by its sequel, the original Paper Mario puts a huge smile on my face every time I replay it. The combat system is easy to understand, making it a good gateway RPG. The game is filled to the brim with charm and personality, even in the smallest of details, like all the letters the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom send to your house or reading Luigi's diary in your basement. There's all kinds of bonus content in the game too. Things like star pieces, which get you extra badges, the dojo, recipes you can cook, the little oinks, Koopa favors, and jumping into a vase that turns you into 8-bit Mario, the party members, the humor, and the many different races in each location you can interact with. This game has so much personality and charm, and I absolutely love it. Let's talk about the game's art style. This game still holds up pretty well for an N64 game. 2D character sprites against the 3D objects make for a great blend that perfectly complement each other and make the game look fantastic. This is still the best looking game on the N64 in my opinion. Everything is so bright and vivid, and when the game gets more atmospheric, I think it succeeds a lot more than most other N64 games. So, you might be asking yourself, Aperture DJ, why is this game more important to you than any other? There is so many other great games out there. Well, you're right. I have played so many more great games since I played Paper Mario, some of which I actually believe are objectively better than Paper Mario. So, why is this game so special to me? Well, it's because this game was the first video game to show me that games could be more than just games. They could have good stories, good writing, charming characters, touching moments, and could evoke emotion within you beyond just simple fun. I love this game, not just because of the game itself, but because of my experiences around it. I love it because it was the first game to make me feel. It was the first game to truly immerse me in its story, and it was also the first game I ever beat. I still remember how I felt when I first beat this game. I felt accomplished, I was happy, but I also felt somewhat sad that the adventure was over. I still remember the Star Spirit saying goodbye to you after you defeat Bowser. Beautiful music that sounds like a bittersweet goodbye to the friends you made along the way, reminiscing on all the great memories you had together. The ending screen with the beautiful fireworks and the game's intro music playing in the background. I kid you not, I probably stared at this screen for a good 10 minutes the first time I beat the game because of how many different strong emotions it made me feel. If it wasn't for Paper Mario, I probably wouldn't be the die-hard gamer I am today. I was also the only game my dad ever got into. My parents aren't gamers, but my dad loved this game just as much as I did. In fact, I think he's beaten this game and the Thousand Year Door even more than times than I have. My dad and I actually bonded over this game. I loved watching him play through the game on a weekly basis back in the day. This wasn't just a video game for me. It was an unforgettable experience and a cherished memory. It was a bonding experience with my dad. It was, and still is, the most important video game in my life. My video game collection went up in flames, I would immediately jump in and save my original copy of Paper Mario. This is my original copy I got back in 2001. This game has received a lot of love over the years. This cartridge fills me with joy every time I so much as look at it. And nothing can change that. I will always feel this way about the game because it entered my life in the right place at the right time. This game is tied to the first time I had experienced strong emotions from fictional media, and that is why Paper Mario means so much to me. This game continued to be my go-to video game until 3 years later when I got to experience one of the greatest sequels ever made. But that's a story for another video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Aperture DJ signing out. Go play a game that you love.